All right, peoples, happy weekend. Saturday morning. I'm going to jump in here and do GDX and GDXY. I think most of you know I've been pretty frustrated, so I don't do it all the time. I left the few hundred shares that I own in there, but I just make my own plays now because these guys have just shown me that they can't manage a gold fund because they don't really understand it. As sad as that sounds, but it's just very true. They're getting lucky the tail end of this week because I expect August very likely could be the high in gold compared to September because I think we get a sell-off in all things equity in September. But let's see. Certainly gold could raise its head, but I don't think it will in September. But I think it is well on its way to all-time further highs over the next 6 months, year, 2 years, etc. All right, so let's jump in here. What all has transpired? Well, so you've seen, look at this range. It's been really tight after, jumping way up and running. It's been pretty tame recently. So we've seen. But don't get confused. You have to really look at GDX and see what all it's done. Naturally, GDXY isn't doing anything because these guys are writing their call prices just right almost at the, 1% out. So GDX has gone from the 37s, 38, 39s, 39.77, 39.50, 39.34, and then over the last 3 days has pulled back in the 38s. So here we've done nothing but stay in the 18s for the last 2+ weeks. So because they've written the strikes, we got killed earlier in the month, right? We had to buy back massive like this. Look at 816. We opened this thing for 48 cents. We opened for 50 cents. We opened for 34 cents. Look at what they're buying it back for. $2.17, $2.17, $1.69. These are 4, and this one is 6 times almost, 4 and 5.5 times the buyback. They were writing at 36s, and it just wasn't happening. So that's the problem you run into, right? You're down here writing 36s, and when you look at 816, look where it is. 37, 38, you've got 36 written. So they've been consistently doing that. Now they're just benefiting from the gold stocks are pretty calm, right? Because the market's near a high, everything looks to pull back here in September. So going a little further, where do they stand on payment? Because that's where most of you want to know, and even on the weekly. So now in the last couple, although this one they lost, right? They opened it at 30 cents, and again they closed it at 32 cents. So this is just ugly, and it made for an ugly month. But they came along and they won this one. I have a feeling they could very easily, with this 39.5, we're at 38.62. I don't think gold's going to do much next week. You never know, but I don't expect it to. So they may have 2 weeks in a row where they win the bulk of their strikes. But what's really bad and pretty pathetic, and they've kind of earned it, look at this. We've been 1,500,000 for 10 days, and before that we were not much higher, 25,000 higher, and then back here on 8.6 we were 25,000 below where we are now. So nobody's buying it. I'm not recommending it. I mean, I recommend gold stocks, but I'm not sure that September is a month that we're going to get much of a push-up. I think more like November, December, into first quarter of next year, we should really get going. So in a way, it's their own fault. I mean, they'll probably think, oh, we got in too early. Well, no, you had a lot of movement. You saw GDX go from low to mid 30s up to 40, right? And there was big movement there. They just didn't play it correctly. Okay, so enough on that. Let's take a look at our weekly. So they've kept 7,570 contracts. We currently, and by the way, these were closed out and rewritten on Wednesday, right? So you go back and you look at the detail, right? On 8/23, the previous Friday, they wrote the 830s. Well, we came in here at 8/28, okay, on Wednesday, and we bought them back, right, for 3 cents. So, and when we bought them back for 3 cents, we wrote a new set out to 9/6. Okay, so that was 6 trading days because would have been 7, but because of the Labor Day holiday. And we may still win that one, right? There's not much premium in GDX right now because the market hasn't really figured out that we're in a commodity cycle going forward. And that goal is just the tip of the iceberg. It's going to run for multiple years here. I think you'll easily see 3,000 in the first quarter. So we shall see here. And this fund, I mean, it'll probably get to $20. It'll probably be one of the few funds not necessarily in September, but it might be one of the funds that holds itself up better than many others do. Although I do expect if we get a hard sell-off in the markets that the gold stocks will go down. And gold price will go down for that matter, the metal. So let's look. So I showed you the weekly, nothing there. Let's look at the holdings. So on our synthetic, and this will play in a minute, we have a 646,000 profit. That's been up to as high as 1.2 because it's a 38 strike. They got the strike figured out. They've been there for a while and they have out to October 18. But they haven't really taken any money off the table on that one. We've only captured 8%, but there's only 4 more trading days, right? On this 39.5, and what are we, 38, 34 on 38.62. Okay. So let's finish looking at holdings and then we'll jump into payouts, and I'll give you guys. And by the way, I'm going to do a few more of my individual stocks, Misty, Coney, GDXY, and then I'm going to give you my full today, sometime on Saturday, may even be into the afternoon, I'm going to give you my full list of predictions for these funds. I'll give you pretty much the prediction inside here and in the individual ones, but I'll have it all rolled up for you. So let me get this fixed up. This should, there were no shares added. And this looks to be, so they're saying 1854 is the net asset value, and it's trading at 1863. So a little bit of a premium there, 9 cents. 646,000 in the synthetic. All right, let's go look at what you care about. So because they really screwed up here a lot, we don't have any money in the short call because we just got decimated a few weeks ago. Just poor call management. And here they have some money. So the net is there's a penny loss. Now, what do I think they're going to pay out? Remember, they're setting on 44 cents, 646,000. I don't expect that to change too much this coming week. Because I think the second week of September is when I see the real beginning of the sell-off happening. So I'm going with about 44 cents being paid, which on the current price would be a 28.34 yield. Now that's down from this one. I was a little disappointed here. I thought that over this course of the 6 weeks when the fund opened, that they could have paid more. It was a nice yield at the time. And then they dropped it, kind of surprisingly. I thought this would be about 60, 70 cents, I think, and they went low. So now I'm going low. So I'm going with 44 cents on GDX as my estimate. All right, peoples, that's what I got for you on GDXY and GDX. Again, this is Bruce with Targeted Wealth Creation. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. It's for fun and education. Have a great weekend, peoples. Bye for now.